Hi, good day everyone. I'm Abigail Cortez and I will be your next lecturer for today. But before starting my report, let's have a recap first on the topic discussed by the previous reporter, which is all about the research methodology. Research methodology, or the second part of financial plan's body, is described as the science of studying how the study is to be carried out. Research methodology umbrellas the following. First is the research design, which I'm going to discuss. Second is the case method. Third is instrumentation. Fourth is the sample and sampling techniques. And fifth is the statistical tools for financial analysis. So, my topic for today is about research design. And here is the learning outcomes. First is to clearly understand the definition of research design. Second is to know or to identify the characteristics of research design. And lastly is to know the different types of research design. Okay, for our introduction. So before starting your financial planning, you need to decide how you're going to plan to design your study. Since research design refers to the overall strategy that you choose to integrate the different components of the study in a logical way and unambiguously as possible. So it will help you to ensure that you effectively address the research problem, since the research problem is the one that demonstrates the type of design you should use. Okay, let's proceed. So research design is defined as the set of methods and procedures used in collecting and analyzing measures of the variables specified in the research problem. It is also defined as the scheme or plan of action for meeting the objectives. So after knowing your objective, the research design will help you to easily attain what are the objectives that you have. So it is also defined as the blueprint for conducting a study that will maximize your variables. So for the purpose of research design, first it suggests the necessary observations you need to make. Also, it identifies the analytical and the statistical procedures for your findings. So it also provides a plan of study that permits accurate assessment of cause and effect relationship between the independent and the dependent variables. So since you have the variables, the research design will help you what are the correlation between them. So it also provides a plan in answering the research problem that you have. For the characteristics of research design, it is according to first is the setting in which the research occurs. Under this setting, there are two types of studies, the laboratory and the field studies. Unlike the laboratory studies, the field studies is occur outside the laboratory. It is in a natural setting and it composed of variety of methods, such as the interviews, the questionnaires, and the field experiments, or the personal interviews with the office, or it's either in the school. So for the next is the timing of data collection. There are three types of studies. The prospective or longitudinal studies. These are the events that are expected to occur in the future. While the retrospective or the historical studies, those are the events that occurred in the past. And the cross-sectional studies are the studies that occurred in the present. So for the third characteristic, it is according to the subjects to be included in the research. The subjects that included in the research are most specifically on the research methodology. First is the sample size. Second is the methods that you're going to use. And the third is the researcher's plan in communicating their findings. Okay, for the types of research design, we have the four main types of research design. First is the descriptive design. It is the most common type of design used by the researchers. Descriptive design seeks to describe the current status of the phenomenon. But the researchers does not begin with the hypothesis, but once the data has been collected, the descriptive design is the one that's been used. Second is the correlational design. So in this, the relationship is between the variables using the statistical analysis. But it does not look after the cause and effect relationship. The third one is the quasi-experimental design. It is also called as the causal design. It is a cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. So unlike the correlational, The quasi-experimental is more on the cause and effect relationship between the two variables that you have used in the research. So the last one is the experimental design. It is often called as the true experimentation, the scientific method to establish cause and effect relationship among group of variables. In experimental design, they're using a scientific method in order for them to analyze the findings. So in a nutshell, it is very important to know the purpose of the research design in our study. It helps the researchers to easily decide how you're going to plan to design your study. A major purpose of research design is to establish the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. Since I've mentioned earlier that the research design is the blueprint in conducting a study that can maximize the factors. Also, the research design has different characteristics that according to, first is the setting in which the study is occur, second is the timing of data collection, and the third is the subjects to be included in the research. There are also four main types, which I've mentioned are the first is the descriptive design, second is the correlational design, third is the quasi-experimental or the causal design, and the lastly is the experimental design. So the differences between the four types primarily relate to the degree that the researchers design to control of the variables in the experimentation. Thank you.